Jeff Sessions is recusing himself from the Russia probe. So does this put the Russia issue to bed? It doesn't sound like it, because the Democrats, they smell blood, and this is their new person to attack. Joining me right now on all of it, former independent counsel Michael Zeldin and Jordan Sekulow from the American Center for Law and Justice. Good to have both of you here. I'm going to start with you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Is this just a political witch hunt that you know, one side is absolutely not going to give up?
Absolutely, Trish. And I think that Jeff Sessions, Mike Flynn, Jeff Sessions, you already saw Keith Ellison tweet about another cabinet official, the Commerce Secretary. If you are a Trump official right now, you need to be on notice. I think this White House needs to be very prepared, starting with the president, but his whole team, to come under this kind of attack, that this is not going to end with Jeff Sessions. It's not even over for Jeff Sessions. I think that the sharks smell the blood. They're in the water, and while the Democrats may not have had political success at the ballot box, they're able to rally around these issues and really stall the agenda items. As that report was just talking about, is that we're not getting to the real issues in policy, and what we're doing is responding to the issue of the moment, not even of the week, because we had the joint address this week, Trish, and we're not talking about it by the end of the week.
Well, it is kind of coincidental, right? He has a really good speech,
sure,
perhaps the best of his political career, and then all of a sudden this stuff starts to unravel. Let me go to you for a moment, Michael, and just sort of get a sense of whether you think there's any there. I mean, is this just all innuendo? Is this speculation? Or is there something more to this, Michael?
Well, the reality is, of course, Trish, is that we don't know, and that's sort of the point that the Democrats are trying to make. At its worst, what this is about is Russian interference with an American political election, with Russia trying to destabilize Europe, with Russia trying to drive a wedge between the United States and its NATO allies. So at its worst, this is a big story in geopolitical terms. Jeff Sessions, whether he told the truth or didn't tell the truth, that's a political inside the Beltway sort of issue, which will work its way through the process. But this is not what the Democrats are most concerned with.
I mean, if he did or didn't tell the truth, I mean, look, I mean, that's a pretty. If he didn't tell the truth, if he actually did have relationships with Russians that were trying to sabotage Hillary Clinton's campaign, I mean, that's not good. Like, none of us should want that. The Democrats shouldn't want that. That is bad for the country.
No, I'm
all
not
this
saying
speculation is suggesting that
is that we now have the Obama officials getting to investigate this because of Jeff Sessions' recusal so early on in this administration. In this issue, he doesn't have his deputy attorney general confirmed yet. The acting deputy AG, this was a U.S. attorney promoted by President Obama, who went after the governor of Virginia, Republican governor of Virginia, and when he lost at the Supreme Court, tried to get Loretta Lynch, the former attorney general, to retry the governor of Virginia.
This
is why I think now you've got the Obama officials in charge of the investigation of a campaign we know they didn't like. Because
meanwhile, let's not forget what we've also been reporting. Hang on, guys. We've also been reporting here on Fox that his son-in-law, Trump's son-in-law, actually participated in some meetings with the Russian ambassador at the convention. So what do you make of that one, Michael? I mean, how should people be adding all this up right now? And as I said, to be talking about potentially what the Democrats are talking about, that's scary stuff.
Well, that's right. And that's why I think that in the interest of the United States, leaving aside partisan politics, in the interest of the United States, a bipartisan 9/11 type commission that holds public hearings, not the Intelligence Committee, which holds its hearings in private, but a bipartisan public hearing coupled with a special prosecutor so that you do away with this issue of whether or not a Democratic deputy attorney general is looking into it. And he's not going to be there long. The president has his candidate up for nomination in 2 days. So I think to put it aside, to see whether there is any there, the best thing for both Republicans and Democrats and the country is this 9/11 styled bipartisan public hearing and a special prosecutor to look at whether or not Jeff Sessions lied or criminal activity took place.
That would be the worst thing. That is a distraction.
That's not a distraction. I kind of prefer in some ways that this be behind closed doors.
No, it can't be.
That is horrendous.
The bottom line is we don't know a whole lot right now. And yet here we are talking about it, speculating about it. You've got Democrats salivating here at the idea that maybe there was something inappropriate Let's all hope there's not, because, as I said, that's bad for the country. And in many ways, Jordan, you've got a very good point. It would be destructive to do this in such a public forum. They got to get to the bottom of it. They absolutely should. However, I don't like all these dribs and drabs and leaks and speculation because we don't know what happened. And until we did, this is not something that should be so publicly discussed. Anyway, Michael, Jordan, good to see you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
President